Let's go.
That would have been good.
Missed opportunity. Better week this week. Saturday, I had to work. He didn't, so that's why he looks like an unprofessional tool.
Yeah, wearing my sister's hoodie.
Really?
No.
Oh, God. Shout out to Mike, if you're listening. My assistant manager murdered it today. Gave me a bunch of good gravy hours. It's been a good day. Shout out to Bryce for teaching me how to pull a cab on this bad boy. I don't know if you can listen to podcasts through a 30 rack, but if you do hear this, you're the man. I don't know if any of you have had a glow plug tip break off, but it's going to be a cool adventure this week. So,
engine didn't run though after the tip broke off.
Yeah, we're smart. Sometimes. Yeah. Did not try anything stupid. Yeah. And it's customer pay. Extended warranty. So, big hours.
We'll start off spiffs.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about a little bit of employee appreciation stuff. You know, we're about that season for us where we get our GM incentive, our quarterly incentive payoff. And we've seen a few things on Facebook about other shops, GM mentioning a lot of their shops not enrolling them into stuff or giving the maximum benefits that they could. So we're going to talk about, what does your shop do to perk us up a little bit? Get us a little excited to do something more. We have a spiff program. You want to explain our spiff program we have?
Yeah, I don't really participate too much because I forget all the time. But on all of our upsells, so anything the vehicle doesn't come in for that we upsell, $300, every $300 with parts and labor, so combined, is like one roll of a dice. And so you'll roll the dice, say you got 20 rolls, you'll roll a pair of dice 10 times, and then they double that and give us that in dollars in cash, and then we have to sign a sheet and for taxes, damn government, commie bastards.
It's pretty cool though, if you remember to keep track of your upsells, because they can add up quick. They let us stack them. If you had like a low week, you can add them up as long as you remember to keep track. But it's a good way to get a good payout. And
weekend money.
We've had some of the shops I've worked at over the years, they've had different spiff programs. First shop I worked at when I got my apprenticeship did dice rolls also, but they did dice rolls daily, which was kind of cool because back then, we were all smokers and, like to eat out. So it was like, just made sure every day you sold a couple of things, and freaking damn near every day you got a pack of smokes and, lunch, and they did it every morning. We had a daily shop meeting every morning. We did dice rolls after. So that was kind of cool. One of the other shops I worked at, Dodge up in Idaho, they did a percentage of upsell. So all we had to do was keep track of the RO number that we had upsells on. If we had an upsell on it, no matter what it was, we just wrote down the RO number. And at the end of the month, the manager came through and gave everyone's sheet with the RO number on it. And he went through and found all the upsells, and then what everything was considered an upsell. And then we got it was like 5% of it. So sometimes you had a pretty good, it was like $400 a month, and they brought it out in cash. So it was kind of cool. And then Honda was probably the coolest just because it was different. We got a upsell sheet every week, and so we had a sheet of what paid upsells, and then we had a sheet to fill out when we sold the upsells, and every week was different. So it was like wiper blades were like $1, air filter was like $2, like a ball joint was like $20. And they just picked like 8 things every week. If we did like oil changes, we got $5. So like if Lube was backed up, we went over and grabbed one and took care of it for him. $5 extra. You wrote it down, and then they cash those out every week.
And we used to have scratchers here.
Yeah, those were cool.
I wasn't
God, I forgot
a
about
tech
those.
or anything when
So
we were
yeah,
doing those.
under our previous regime, we had lottery tickets. So it was just like a scratch off, like a bubble scratcher, kind of looked like a Scantron. And so like let's say I can't remember what they I think it was like every half hour we got like a bubble. So you got the lottery ticket. It was like that long and like that wide, and it just had like 200 bubbles on there. And let's say you had like 20, you turn in like 20 hours worth, you got 40 bubbles. You just went through and picked 40 and you scratched them all out. And I think they all had something like $2, but it was like two per scratcher had like $100. There was like five $20. There was a couple fives. And so yeah, every once in a while you'd get the $100 one. You were like, yeah. But that one, when they did that, they just added it on your check, so it wasn't as exciting. I would have liked to like pot, like scratched off like $250, and they're like, "Here you go, dude." That makes it more exciting when you do it weekly. So because we do it on Thursday, so like you can have $100 in cash on the weekend to just you know buy some beers and maybe a nice dinner or something. It's kind of cool.
What about the our flush kits? Because I mean, a lot of places
Yeah.
do that, but I don't know how everybody else's
So
works.
I have an empty bottle here. So we use Mock Services. This is just one of the throttle body cleaner kits.
Yeah.
Um, so when the service riders sell flushes, generally we don't recommend it. They have like service intervals they recommend it on. But when we do services, each one of the different flush kits has caps like these or like those, and some of them like brakes and diffs and stuff have ones like those. And we get is it 50 cents a cap or is it
50 cents a cap, $1 for brake
flushes? And
Yeah.
so he comes through every once in a while and
Well, we get them on card now.
count them out. And yeah, now we all have debit cards. And so basically we'll count them out and he'll put it in and then they'll upload it on the debit card. So that's another cool thing that the shop, I'm sure they enroll in it when they have us do all our services and stuff. For the most part, the mock services are pretty cut and dry. Some of the machines seem a little outdated, but
I don't like the brake flush machine. It sucks. It always steals the fluid.
yeah, if any of you use that mock brake flush machine.
Oh, and the trans one always takes out more than it puts in, so that's cool.
Especially nowadays when checking trans fluid isn't as easy as it used to be.
So if they have thermal bypass valves, they don't work.
Thermal bypass valves has to be at a real specific temp. Getting up to that temp can be a pain, especially like when we're doing trans flushes on the ones with a thermal bypass valve. You can't power brake the trans to get it hot enough to open it up because it'll ruin the machine. We've ruined like 3 of them. So you have to bypass the thermal bypass valve in order to do the flush. You have to do the flush at the trans, not at a cooler line. So that's interesting too.
Yep.
Flushes are good, easy money. If you have the time to knock them out, then obviously we get money per caps. Like our service riders, they get spiffs off of services too. From what I've heard, they get like $3 a service.
Yeah.
So they have incentive programs for different things. I know some places give bonuses based off of CSI and their surveys and stuff. But as far as dealership incentives, that's about as far as we go. We do get movie tickets on our birthday. It's pretty dope.
From a competing company.
From a competitor's business. It's pretty funny. Yeah, the competitor they give us movie tickets for is one of the largest dealership chains in, I would say, the what are we considered Midwest over here?
We're just kind of the West,
West.
but they did get bought out
Yeah,
by the dealership portion did.
yeah, the
It's all
dealership
under the
portion.
same name still,
Same
though.
same name. They haven't changed the name, but they got bought out. But
Yeah.
still, kind of funny little thing.
Um,
But the other thing we wanted to talk about was so we're about the time now to get our payment for our GM Technician Excellence Program. And I saw on the GM Tech Facebook page, a lot of people were posting their stats for the program. And a lot of technicians were stating that their dealership doesn't match the GM contribution, which I thought was,
or enrolled at all for that
or
matter.
a couple of them said that their dealership didn't enroll them at all. And it's a free program. This is one of the programs that the dealership can enroll their technicians that they don't have to pay for. So even if they're not going to match, they didn't even enroll them. And so basically, we get paid a certain amount based off of our training. And then every time we get like 100% in a category, we move up, it's like $50. And then once we finally reach up that tier done and we get an assessment done, we start another tier. And then as you finish your assessments, you move up. And then once you achieve your world class certification, you're maxed out. World class pays $1,500, and then if the dealer
From GM, yeah.
from GM, and if your dealer matches 100%, that's a $3,000 quarterly bonus for technicians. Which I don't know what other manufacturers do. I did a small stint at Dodge, and there was nothing like this. And I know this program's pretty new for us, but it's pretty damn cool. But
Yeah, the first one's worth the most out of on both categories, both for assessments and just normal 100%.
Just getting one
it's
assessment.
$250 for just the first 100% you get.
Yeah, and then if you get one assessment, you get in put here, it's $600, $1,200 matched.
Yeah,
and I
with
can't.
our match, yeah.
But it's crazy. So I saw that a lot of techs were mentioning that their dealerships weren't matching, or they're only matching 25% or 50%, and I was like, really? Our dealership just matches it. I was like, what the heck? So I went and asked my manager, and I said, what was your thought process when they came out with this program? They gave you the option to match and match as a percentage. He was like, it was a no-brainer. He goes, they gave us a program where we can incentivize you to do better, learn more, and make our dealership, worth more, paper wise on training. He goes, they just gave us the option. I just clicked it. He goes, you didn't even have to think about it. It wasn't like, oh man, how much will we save if we only give them 50% or it wasn't even a thing. So I wonder if some of you guys maybe go ask, someone in a higher position what the thought process is on that.
Yeah.
What do they lose by not giving it to you, and what do they gain by not giving it to you? Because I think that would be kind of a morale issue if you have all these guys busting their ass to become the best technicians that GM has, on paper.
On paper.
You always have to say that because but on paper become the best technicians that GM has, and it is a pretty significant achievement. It doesn't take 4 months, but what do they gain by not giving it to you? They save a few bucks.
Yeah, if they decided to change our match from 100% to 25%, I think,
oh yeah.
I mean, I understand it's a business, and it sometimes people are just numbers, but if they drop that, or if I went to another dealer and they were like that, it would make me feel less likely to help them out more, just because they've shown me that I'm just a number, or not worth it. The whole shop isn't worth it, because they're not just doing that to one particular person.
Yeah. We're the department in the dealership, and every single dealership in this country, we're the department that keeps the lights on. I would be baffled if there was a dealership in this country where sales made more money than service. wouldn't make sense.
No.
And if your sales department is making more money than service, where the hell are all your customers going after they buy cars?
Yeah.
Because that you think the more cars you sell, the more service you would do because you're bringing in more customers. But every single dealership, this is the money maker. We keep the lights on. We make up the differences in a lot of losses because there's not a lot of money in new cars.
It's all in accessories and used cars.
Accessories and used cars. The used car game has been pretty bad for the last couple of years. Even the accessories game, I know there's a ton. Our business owns one of the largest accessory distributors in, I think, this
Region. Yeah.
this whole region. But man, we don't do as much accessories as we used to. But I have heard of some of the dealerships, like, accessories is their thing.
They have accessory guys.
Yeah, like,
Like,
we don't have
we don't.
accessory guys. There's not that many. I can't tell you the last time I did a tonneau cover.
It's been months.
It used to be, a lot of
Once a
trucks.
week.
Most trucks are coming with steps nowadays, but it used to be steps galore. Steps, tonneau covers, kicker subs. Any of you have done those? The GM ones?
And they don't pay anything.
0.8. Yeah. Whoever comes up with labor times on accessories too needs a little
camera systems.
Camera systems
that break after a month.
Luckily, most everything nowadays is coming with like 45 cameras pre-installed, so that's been nice. I used to have to do
the invisible trailers.
invisible trailers.
I hate those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody has a trailer that's too long. And they think it's going to work.
Then they bring in, the world's most expensive fifth wheel and pull it in, and take up the entire shop for how long? Or I guess we could work outside. Yeah, but we don't do that. Yeah. But yeah, it is weird that a lot of shops don't take care of their techs for these little programs. We have the Mark of Excellence program. This is my first year of really doing it. I know my manager said the dealership does have to pay for it. They didn't tell me how much they have to pay for it. And I remember you used to get earn power reward points based off of your stats from it, but I couldn't find anything that really broke it down for this one other than like getting like the toolbox medallion. So I don't know about the point system on that, if you earn money off of that, but it is a cool program. I know some of the tops in the region, the tops in the nation, they win like banquets and opportunities for stuff. Like they just came out with a new website where you can track your stats on it, updates once a month, and one of our guys is like 100th in the nation right now, which is pretty cool. Sean, he just left. He's like 100th in the nation, and he was like, I want to say he was like 7th in the region.
Yeah, he was up there.
And then Tim, he's one of our veteran guys here. He was like 160th in the nation, and he was like 20 or 30th in the region. I'm getting up there. You don't need to hear my stats right now. Most of it's the training that killed my numbers, and I don't get any surveys, positive or negative. It's kind of a bummer because you get points off of that too. But I'm like, I think when I check
surveys for techs.
Well, if they do the GM surveys, they are linked to the RO that we worked on, so it affects our numbers based on that ticket, and that affects the fix it right the first time. So it sucks because most of the time you only get reviews on bad stuff.
Yep.
So that one's kind of hit and miss, but it would be cool to be like, wow, they fixed my truck right really fast. But you don't get those very often. Training's a huge part of it. You get a lot of points for tenure at the dealership. So I got points because I've been with GM for 12 years and this particular dealership for 7. And you get more points based on how long you've been with the dealership. So like Tim and Sean, they were like 20 and 20. So they
Yeah.
had a ton of points in that category. But I think I'm like, I just got to keep, I finally got almost every category 100%. I just need an ASC and then start hounding my manager to send me to assessments. I wish our local training center did assessments, but I guess they're not allowed to yet. It's kind of a bummer because
Why don't they never run assessments in like a whole bunch of assessments back
yeah,
to back at one
you
center?
think it'd be nice if like one center would do like suspension, like so like a Monday suspension, Tuesday brakes, Wednesday HVAC, Thursday electrical, so you could have the opportunity to make one trip and knock out like 4 or possibly 5 in a trip. That would be cool.
Rather than taking 8, 9 trips
8, 9
to get
trips.
all
And
your assessments.
I did a little bit of math on like a quick trip. Like I found a couple in the next month or two, the closest training centers that I think would be affordable flights. And we're talking, if I'm skirting by just to get there, do the assessment, and try and get home, we're $800 a trip. And I know that goes back to like, maybe your dealership, they should want you to get to that level and pay that money. But I do understand that, $6,000 to get me my assessments is a lot, but we do have 3 here at our shop. So it's not like on their priority list to get a world class on the books, even though there's about 2, 3 of us that are ready.
Yeah.
Um, it's close, but yeah, world class would be super cool. Good achievement. Um, hopefully a pay bump. I don't know what world. Send me a message or a comment, and let's see what world class guys make. From like city to city, state to state. I'm just curious. Just let me know. Um, oh, by the way, I'm currently 90th in the region, so I just need to get a little more. I'll be going to that banquet next year, so keep an eye out for me. I'm getting there.
I'm not enrolled.
Yeah, he's
I
not
didn't get enrolled.
Yeah, next year. Next year for that, but he finally got on the board for tech excellence.
Yep.
You're at 2?
2, yep.
200% is moving up. And he is
hybrid and auto trans.
I know. First one was hybrid, right? Or no,
No, I
auto
got
trans.
auto trans right before we got hybrid.
We did auto trans the week before you did that
Yep.
ASC. But he's moving up quick. He's ready, pretty close to ready on a lot of them.
Doing way too much training.
Yeah, I remember doing all my training to at least get all the web based done, start knocking out hands-ons. But this new VILT, PILT, whatever they're called. I don't know what the hands-on portion is. It HILT? I don't know.
No, it's VILT, which is virtual class, and then you have a self-study guide.
Okay, so that doesn't have a
self-study guide you got to do with a test, and then you do the hands-on course,
which is the PILT.
PILT, yep.
Yeah, when I did most of my hands-on, we just went to class.
Yeah, it's fairly new. They started that last year after I did all my auto trans courses.
Me and him just went to California together last month. 2 months ago, February. Yeah. That was the first time I've been to class in 4 years. And I was at a point for a while where I was just like 100% meh. But then, a few months ago, probably about January, start of the year, maybe New Year's resolution type stuff, I finally got a fire under me to, make something of my name and my number and make myself more valuable on the paper skills. So I had a couple things. I always kept up on the yearly web base and stuff, but I blew through all that hybrid VILT.
Oh yeah, we did that all of it in like
a week and a half.
Yeah, it was real fast.
Yeah, it was like we had it perfectly scheduled where we scheduled all the video based ones where we needed the prereqs, but we finished it. And then the same day we did the self study, and then the next day was the next one, and we went fast. And then they sent us right to California and got us the class. So we have are we at 9 now that can do, or
Let's
7?
see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 here now that can do EV stuff.
Which we were already the highest percentage in the region.
Yeah. Yeah, they told us we were already highest in the region with 5, so now we have 7. But here soon, Silverados, Equinoxes, all that electrical stuff's coming out, so we're going to get a ton of that. We'll see if the Silverados have all the same problems they've been having with the Hummers. We had a ton of them that are needing batteries. We had the engineer out the other day, and he was telling me that they just did a Hummer one, his first Hummer one.
Oh, really? Does it use the same fixture as the Silverados?
Yeah.
Yeah, that big one that we got upstairs.
Yeah. Yep. Use that same fixture. It's got alignment dowels. Pretty simple. Said it's super easy.
Yeah, we had to buy a new forklift just for those batteries.
We did have to buy a new forklift.
Yeah.
A big boy. Brand spanking new, too. We didn't go used. You know?
I'm surprised.
I think I heard that. I think it was like 30 grand. I know it's convenient, you know, and it helps us out in the long run, inside and outside work. Why do we have to buy our own tools, man? So much money.
Well, yeah. And teachers complain about having to buy stuff for their classrooms.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
shut up.
I've been to a,
You got to buy some expo markers.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They don't supply us with enough markers. I had to spend $8. And it's like this pair of pliers right here. It's like 150 boxes of crayons. You know? Don't make me break out something expensive. A digital torque wrench or something. Yeah. No offense to teachers, you know, I guess your job is hard, even though, no, I was going to go there, but I won't go there. Respect teachers.
They got to deal with kids.
Yeah, they have to deal with kids. And I know it's hard. You know, their job is to teach my kids how to read and how to write. And I've been trying to get my 9-year-old's handwriting better. And it's like, I didn't do good in school. I wasn't good at writing, notes, homework at all. It's like, so how am I supposed to teach them to be good at it? You know, the learn from my mistake stuff doesn't really work good on kids nowadays. I caught my kid saying the word sus for the first time the other day, and I was like, no. You know?
You don't know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Where should we move on from here?
Appreciation luncheons.
Yeah, so our dealership typically does a once a month employee appreciation luncheon. Pretty good catered stuff. We have a big giant conference room upstairs and fits basically the whole dealership. They don't cheap out. It's usually pretty nice stuff, not just boring sandwiches. It's pretty nice stuff. They give us a good pep talk, you know. They give us, you know, department stats and, you know, good pats on the back, you know.
What the goals are for the year or the month.
Goals, yearly goals, you know. How much
policy.
If you don't know, that means how much money we cost the business in mistakes for the year.
Sales usually cost more than service, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, sales is usually more, and I don't know exactly what it adds up their policy. Ours is, breaking parts, crashing a car,
I haven't
breaking
had
off a
any
mirror.
crashes in a while.
It's been a long time. When was the last time I had to get tested?
Is it that big door over
Yeah,
there?
that was like 5 years ago.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
I cut my thumb open, you have to go get drug
Oh,
tested for that. I had to get stitches. That one's pretty good. Yeah, you can't see shit. That's
you
stupid.
can't see shit.
Yeah, so yeah, they do luncheons, they do stuff like that. Towards the end of the year, leading up to our Christmas party, COVID kind of threw a
Yeah,
little
it's been kind of
wrestle in it.
weird
It's been
the last
weird
couple of years, but
since COVID-ish stuff, but generally, for a few months before the Christmas party, we have a weekly luncheon that they pay for, all catered, nice stuff. And at the weekly luncheon, you can purchase raffle tickets um, for a weekly raffle and for a raffle at the Christmas party. You can payroll deduct raffle tickets or you can pay in cash. And all that money we donate to the food bank every year. And then whatever we donate for raffle tickets and prizes and all that, the dealership matches or more for the food bank. So it's kind of a charity type deal slash Christmas um, cash. Wow. Um, Christmas little bonus type thing. We do have a Christmas match bonus every year, so we can opt to put in 1% of our paycheck, and then at the end of the year for the Christmas bonus, they match that 1% and give it back to us before Black Friday. Our Christmas party is usually pretty good. Um, Fun little bowling alley rental raffle. They do a kids raffle for everyone who's got kids, arcade stuff, bowling. Um, well, during COVID, because we couldn't have the
oh,
Christmas
yeah.
party, they gave us an option for a gift card, and they had like a list of like restaurants or businesses, and they had these like top tier steakhouse on the
Yeah, we
list.
had a choice between Ruth's Chris, Fleming's, or All Star Bowling. So it's three choices.
Was it only three
Yeah,
choices?
but $250 for
$250 a
picked.
person, and I got Fleming's, and I tell you what, I haven't had a better tomahawk. I cook a mean tomahawk steak, but man, that seared pork belly with goat cheese appetizer and that tomahawk steak, I dream of it because I would never go back again and pay with my own money because I think we dropped that whole gift card.
Oh yeah, I went to Ruth's Chris and still spent $100.
Yeah. And then the next year, we had the Christmas party at the bowling alley, but they didn't do a raffle. They just gave everybody a 250 gift card to
Costco.
Costco.
Oh
It was
yeah,
real sick.
yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that was pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, so enough bragging about all the cool stuff that our dealership does. You know, despite their intentions on taking care of us, you know, they really do treat us like family in a way. And that still doesn't, erase the fact that, we do have day to day frustrations, organization frustrations, communication frustrations, all the normal stuff, but like as a whole. So that's why I've said before, this is my place. I can't think of a single other place that I would rather be than here. But my goal is even stuff that we have to deal with GM while we're here and stuff that we have to deal with the way departments are run while we're here, is the goal to make it just 100% just copacetic. Hope I used that word right. I tried to throw in a big word there. You don't even know what it means either.
yeah, I do. I think you used it right. You're the book nerd here. You should know.
I mentioned a few weeks ago, I guess a few weeks ago would be our first one. I've been having this issue of flagging hours. I just can't get a rhythm down. And It's a combination between rider communication, feeling overburied, mindset, it's those issues creating laziness and lack of motivation. And I had a talk with my manager uh, a week ago because we ended the first week of the pay period, and I did have a hard week. I had a lot of stuff going on at home, but combine that with the way things were going here, I didn't make any hours. Right. Appreciate it. Yep.
Edit.
Yeah. Here. All right. I lost my train. We're going to have to put our hand back up. Where the hell are we at?
I have no clue. ADHD.
Shit. What the hell were we just talking about? Oh, our frustrations or
Oh yeah,
this.
You're getting to
Oh,
your
okay.
hours thing.
All right. There might be a jump cut because we got interrupted. We had to help out a loop tech. So what I was getting at is I had a conversation with my manager a week ago and asking him for help figuring this whole situation out because it wasn't just last week. It's been a while. And he didn't think it had been that long. He thought it had only been a couple of pay periods I've been struggling. And I was like, no, man, it's been a while. And I've been in this pattern of like bad, bad, great, bad, bad, great. And I can't fix the cycle. And I don't know the fix to it. So we did have a conversation on Friday about trying a few different things. The one thing we decided to try was stop worrying about hours and worry more about fixing cars. And also worrying less about the things that are on the bottom of my screen that I haven't made my way to, and more thing about the things on the top that I've already ordered parts or I have parts that I can get done, and just working from there and then moving on down. So this whole week, it's Saturday night now, started first thing in the morning Monday. I started with that new plan and I didn't check my hours all week until Friday night because it was the last day of the pay period. Obviously, I wanted to see what I was at. Fantastic. I did triple the hours this week than I did last week. Triple. And all I did was not worry about how many hours I was making and what I was doing. I just focused on getting one in. If I had the part, doing it, and then moving on. And then if I had to move it aside, even if I had other things to do, I just focused on working. I didn't worry about the politics. I didn't worry about customer drama that the service writers are in charge of dealing with. I just moved from the top to the bottom and I just worked. My laziness downtime was down to a bare minimum. I didn't have a lack of motivation. Tuesday, I had a small conversation with Ian and my manager out in my stall, and I told him, I was like, I feel great. It's the end of the day. It's after 5 o'clock. I'm still here, and I just don't like. Everything was just better from the little experiment. And now it's Saturday night. I was off on Wednesday, wrapping up my home situation from the week prior. My dog got arrested. That's my whole thing, for anyone who doesn't know. But
Karens.
yeah, because of a Karen, my sweet, innocent Australian Shepherd, by the way. But came back Thursday, killed it. Friday, killed it. Saturday, today, murdered it today. And everything just seemed to go smooth. A couple little wrenches got thrown in here or there, which is obviously part of the world, but it wasn't a big wrench 24/7, just ding, 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 trying to get stuff done. And this was an experiment I did for me with my situation. Ian didn't do that because he wasn't really in on the game until later, and I think maybe he needs to give it a go next week.
So.
Because I feel great.
I think the biggest thing is leaving here accomplished.
Yeah.
Like when you got a big job torn apart for, a whole week or more at a time because writers keep giving you things to look at, and you keep saying yes to them and can't get any quality time to work on a big job that you need that quality time for. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
You go home and you still have that on in the back of your
Yeah.
mind.
You know, we come here all day. It's not like the movies where you see the dad waking up to the sunlight and the mom is has breakfast on the table, the kids are already at the table, you whip open the paper and you're eating your bacon and pancakes, have a light conversation with your wife, you fold it up and you're like, see honey, no, I leave when it's dark and generally I go home when it's dark. I'm gone. I come home and then I'm sure most families are the same. You come home and then work starts over again. You got dinner time, you got bath time, you got bedtime, you got story time, then you got to give wife time, and then you have a second job which is your family, and you can't do that one the way it needs to be done if you don't leave job 1 with a smile on your face. You not
Gonna have a
necessarily
good day every day,
a
but
good
the
yeah, you
more
can't have a good day every day, but the more good days you have, the bad ones can get swallowed down easier.
yeah,
And a lot of that, like you just said, deals with just leaving work feeling like you accomplished something. I have an hour commute home every day, and that's no traffic. I have a drive. And that drive, you're just driving. That drive goes so much better if you're just driving home knowing you got shit done.
oh yeah,
Anything, as long as you just got something done, and something done that was worth something.
or even just figuring out a crappy diag sometimes is enough
Yeah,
to you know what's wrong. You can come in the next morning, or if you got the parts, you can handle it right then and there. It's
yeah,
yeah, I think it's just the dopamine.
yeah. We need we need to feel like we accomplished things, and it goes a long way. And sometimes, like my experiment this week, it seemed like I took that upon myself. I didn't allow anyone else in the shop or in the process of a service department to interfere with me accomplishing the things I wanted to accomplish. They assigned me whatever they wanted to assign. I diagged whatever I could. I repaired everything I could, and I just worked. And I didn't worry about who was doing what, who was making how much. I didn't even worry about what I was making. And then when I checked after I got everything I could done Friday night, when I was like, dude, it's time to go home, I was like, what did I was at almost nothing Monday morning, and I left with a good pay period. I would say I almost 30 hours better than last pay period.
Yeah,
This one. And it was great.
mine
And I
was a
was like,
lot better though too. But
but if I could do that both weeks now, so today's day 1 of the pay period, I murdered it. So I'm coming in next week with a head start. If I just do the same thing 2 more weeks in a row, it
yeah,
I see good things at the end of this month. I really do. I like how things are going. And I've just asked my manager after our conversation, I said, just I lay down a couple of my typical wrenches that get thrown in the works, and I say just observe those couple of things, and I want you to observe them, not interfere, but I want you to observe and then see if you can tell how that's going to impact um, my pay period, because these are my typical wrenches. And I want you to just watch, because one hand is just going just so smooth, and the other hand is just you know just the whole way through. And I need both of them. No, that's kind of a dumb thing to do, but yeah, you get my point. But it's been a great week.
yeah, consistency is a killer. Well, lack of consistency. I started my pay period out the opposite that you did.
He's
Great.
he started out great. You were on like day 2 or 3 of the pay period.
I was at like damn near 40.
Yeah, in 2 days. And then it took you a week and a half to us to finish at almost the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird. And I had a day off.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, like it's
You
crazy
had a day
how
off this week.
yeah, this week, and I had a killer week. If you take into account today too, so technically I only worked 5 days. I probably did 80 this
Yeah.
week, which is real high for my typical trend.
Mhm.
80 in 5 days is pretty good. Like if I can do 80 next week or 60 next week and then another 60 and then combine that with my 20 from today, it's going to be a whole new ball game. And I think we might have to like really dial in this experiment
I think so, because I think
to
if
the
we do
steps.
this right, we're not just going to be us. We're not just going to be making more. We're also going to be getting jobs done in a more efficient manner, and which means is customers are going to
Yeah.
be happier.
I've definitely been getting jobs done in a way more efficient manner. They've been getting done. They've been getting done smooth, just because of my mindset of I'm going to do this, and you do your portion to the writers, to everyone. I'm just going to work, and so I just start something. I finish it if I can, because obviously we have parts. Back order this. I had one day this week. I think it was Tuesday. One of the days this week, I swear I gave like 5 or 6 quotes that day, either for just needing parts because they were warranty or customer pay. I want to say all but one were back ordered. I didn't even let it get to me. I said, let's just move on. Keep loading me up. I haven't told them to stop loading me up. They haven't seemed to have a problem with the pace I'm going. So maybe just the way I was doing things just wasn't right for me. So I think we'll see how it goes, and we'll try to get him on it this week, see how things go, and then we can really dial in the steps of what we took for the way we're doing it, and just see if we can implement it even in a bigger way.
Yeah,
because it's working for me this week. I know you can't judge an experiment by a week, but this is the best week I've had in probably a year, and it's been great. Like I'm leaving today, hell, it's 7 o'clock on a Saturday night and I'm still at work. I know we're doing this, but I don't even, like I feel great because I accomplished a lot today and even more for the week. And it's just, I'm a happy camper. I'm off Monday because if we work Saturday, we get a day off the next week. So Monday will be or Tuesday will be an interesting day because you always take a day off and you come in and you're like, what the fuck? But because of what happened this week, I'm not going to let it get to me. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to come in. I got this. I got a Volt with 1,000,000,000 hours on it. I got a screen loaded up of 1,000,000 things I can do. I'm just going to come in. I'm just going to work. Is there anything you want to touch on before we wrap up?
I think we're good. I think that was good.
Okay.
Good one.
Again, we're always looking for insight. Maybe different ways to make it funny. I'm a funny guy. I just need to slip in some more jokes.
Should have started it with
the joke that he had right before I hit play would have been perfect. Oh my God. That was something out of a top tier level podcast. My God, I should have been recording.
We should just start recording before we're even ready to start.
Before we even ready. And if we happen to get something magic, we should start doing that. Yeah, we should. But yeah, insight, suggestions, topics, anything. Just let us know. Let's blow it up. Share it to your friends. Let's hit, we're getting a ton of views. We're getting some good comments. We're getting good feedback. But let's dial it in more to what the people want, and let's get it out to other techs and other manufacturers, and let's spread it. We'll spread the word, because once we start hitting other milestones and we start digging into things, we are open to the idea of having people on,
Yeah.
you know, having someone on where we can have a list of questions that we and you and everybody listening wants answers to. Either a writer, and even have a writer on answering questions for other writers that are listening. You know, if another writer is having an issue with how they deal with text, let's get one of our writers on, ask them these questions on how they deal with those topics with us, and then all vice versa. Let's incorporate everybody, and then keep moving forward. We're not stopping. I think we're doing good, and we're just building our momentum. So
Yep.
we're happy. All right, deuces.